Come on, YouTube. 70 laps, the longest race of the season it should be, but we'll see how this all going to be going. Of course, it's going to be 3 stages, just like every other race we do here at BMRL. 40 laps, the first one, then it's going to go into 80, from 40 to 85, then it's going to go from 85 to 170. It's Zebby here, bringing you all the action from Las Vegas, and alongside me, I have Mike here, just like the last week. Hey Mike, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How's it going, everybody?
Just get it going. We have the cars gridding up now onto the grid and ready to go racing. We're just going to get the cars ready up to go get racing out there. Which, of course, they have 3 sets of tires, 70% of fuel, and of course, I hope you enjoyed it the other day for the truck series race that we did. It was a great one. Had some great racing out there as well. But just at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and now we're here at Las Vegas and with the Cup Series, which is a pretty amazing car and racing. Great racing between these drivers to see the Gen 6 one they use, of course, out here for the Cup Series. So, Mike, 11 cars out there, quite competitive. Last week we saw these drivers racing around. How are we looking into this one?
Could be a pretty good one here. Great track. Las Vegas is going to have us looking at some pretty good side-by-side action here. Might even see some 3 wide early, and you know, looks like we got a pretty decent field here tonight. And I look to see a lot of green flag laps here.
Yep, that definitely would be the case. In fact, let me tell you a story from it was us last week, or maybe in the truck series as well. There were so many yellow flags out there just in the final second and that final stage. There's so many times the pace car came out doing just laps and laps and laps. More, it was almost like more yellow caution laps than we had green flag laps.
Yes, we did. There were some cautions in that one. Hopefully,
yeah, a lot of them
on this one.
So many of them, hoping to get this one going smooth. We currently we got a gridding order for a little bit, but then they disappeared as we were going green one more time for the very first time. We have 56, which should be Adam Gardiner. Meanwhile, the Don lad ahead in that number 9, one on the outside of him should be going green as well as we go racing here at Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Don lad leads it ahead of Andrew Cruz, who's going to just jump up, and then it's going to be many cars out there, of course. Maybe again that similar issue with drivers running different paints than their actual number here in the game. But we'll see what it's going to be. The fight between Donlad Ray and Andrew Cruz still going on, and Donlad stays ahead so far and is kept it ahead. But Andrew's going to come around the outside and come out at him, back at him, try and fight and give him the fight. What he can for that race lead, and he's about to take it. They're scraping side by side, the one behind the 0-2, and Adam Gardner on the outside. They're giving it all as well.
Some good side-by-side action here early in the race. That one, you know, kind of expected. Everybody's still kind of in a pack here, but looking good for the most part.
Yeah, looking good. I mean, with just 11 cars out there, they probably would have actually as much space as they would want, but that doesn't stop them from going wide or having that little bit of a contact. We saw one of the cars right behind making a little bit of a tap to each other there. Number 5 there making their way on the outside. Meanwhile, the 0-2 is out there as well inside that top 3 and looking at a proper chance to make it 3 wide or even go 3 wide between the 2 and make it as much as they can into that race lead. They're going to try and pressurize Donlad Ray. Meanwhile, the number 4 or 5, I believe it is, in between, inside that top 4 as well, all staying together and as a pack, just going around and for sure staying patient. Of course, the very, very long race, this one, 170 laps, and a lot of patience game to play out here. Meanwhile, Andrew Gross goes around the outside and could well be taking the lead from Don Ledray, all in pressure now.
Donald Ray here in the early stages of this race, having to battle for his life for that lead, and we got a lap car here, low side there.
Already a car getting lapped out there, not having that pace. Maybe we saw a little bit of I believe we saw a little bit of a tap between the cars. They might have had to slow down a little and even go pit road as well for maybe any repairs that they would have wanted. But meanwhile, Andrew Cruz and Donald Ray are all at it. The number 9 and number 19 are not leaving each other's side. Meanwhile, the 02 is just staying there and looking for one moment that these two guys make a mistake and get through.
The 02 car trying to make some noise here. That the Home Depot car there on the inside of Donald there, and right behind him on his bumper, and then on the inside of that number 19 tracker car.
Yeah, next to know it's a Home Depot livery thing that they're running on that car, the 02, but then the one behind is getting at them as well. Meanwhile, one on the outside of that 02 is having their speed now, showing us up the number 25 it is, I believe. 20, quite unable to recognize it, but I think it should be somewhere like that, some number like that. They run pretty much the same paint on the number and on the car, so gets quite hard to judge the numbers out there, but we're already on lap 8. It's passing rapidly around here.
He's 8 car here. He's kind of at the back of this pack, but can't quite count him out because look, here he goes trying to make a move on the apron here. And here he comes into the top 3 just like that.
And we saw him do what the 02 car wanted to do. He'd stayed there between all of those behind and just outside that top 4. And when he saw his moment, went a little 3 wide and went for it. And this time around, Andrew Cruz goes very, very wide. The 18 car might just find their way through into the lead, far away from the leaders. But now the scrape is going to be between Andrew Cruz and the 24 car there with Chris Mayo to have a go at it. And I think they're all going to go at it. Meanwhile, Don Ledray is still in the lead, but the 18 car is not going to leave him behind. And I think with the speed he's showing, he might just overtake him in no time.
And here he comes with a run on the outside. Let's see if this is going to do it here. Looks like the 19 has some ideas here, possibly going to try and make it 3 wide here soon. And the 18 climbs into the lead.
The number 18 car give it all, just keep fighting it out with the number 9 out there, not leaving behind as well. Meanwhile, Andrew Gross stays behind as well, but we'll see what everybody's going to do because Andrew's not leaving his chance out, and he overtakes and outplays both of them. Don Ledray and Andrew Gross kept fighting each other. Meanwhile, the number 18 came and passed through in between the 2 cars and gets him take first place here in this race. Aaron Jackson has done it all and outplayed the top 2.
And he shuts the door on the 19 car before the 19 car gets any kind of daylight on the inside. Really smart move there by the 18.
Yep, great move, and then great defending to defend his move and really keep everyone behind out there. He's currently trying to have to defend from the inside line from the number 9, and I think all the ones behind are going to try and find their way. And one moment to try and attack. Look how he moves to the inside when the banking ends, and then just gets back to the top. Meanwhile, Donlad on the inside line, gonna send it through. They get very, very close, nearly made contact, but just inches away from disaster for both of them.
Donald Ray here trying to get his position back as leader here, but the 18 car on the outside says, I'm not giving it to you that easy, and he keeps the lead here running the high side. But here comes Donald on the low side to take it right back.
Everyone's fighting it. Meanwhile, Chris on the inside line now there. He's in fact on the outside. It's Andrew Gruus on the inside line. The O2 car just getting away from the top four a little, but gets back now. And Andrew Gruus and Chris Mayo nearly touch. Meanwhile, the 18 gets to the inside line rapidly. Just lost the lead to Downland Ray, the number 9 there, but still fighting it out. And I think these two are going to be the fighters for that lead, as well as Chris Mayo and Andrew Gruus. The number 2 behind, not yet able to attack the leaders at this moment in time. Maybe just saving a little bit of fuel they can, and maybe just staying patient in this first part of this race, not trying to attack anyone much. Meanwhile, Andrew Gruus goes very, very wide. That might allow the O2 car get even more closer and get through at some point. And the 18 of Aaron Jackson now seems to be losing positions, not 1 but 2.
And look at here, we have a new person into the mix here in that black and red car on the inside here. Trying to get under the 19 on the low side here, right behind Donald Ray. And he tucks back in behind the 19, but now he's on the high side, and the 18 looks like he's going to take 3rd place here away from that car. And here comes the 19 on the outside to try and take the lead.
They're all at it.
Outside here.
Donald Ray still staying to the inside, and I think Andrew Gruus going to the outside line. Andrew now, Donald just feeling a little bit of pressure for that race lead, but everybody falls short a little. But Donald, one way or the other, finds his way back to the lead and back to the top one more time, as he's got to be fighting Andrew Gruus now, but still staying to the inside line, not quite letting him pass, but round the outside is going to go Andrew Gruus and get that race lead. But Don Ledray might just come back at him, but he's just going to make that move and move himself from high to low. But now it's going to be Andrew Donlad going to high now and just trying to tap me. What about Aaron Jackson? What he's going to do, he's going to try and take a different line from the top 2, but can't quite make it there, in a great defense placement car by the number 19, and just able to keep his lead so far.
If you're a spectator right now, you got to be really happy with what we've seen so far. A lot of good battling here for the lead.
Yeah, so much. If you are not, if not all of them, but just watching and supporting one of those drivers, you could well be enjoying it. Sure, one moment your favorite driver takes the lead, the other someone snatches it from them. They could be somebody else's favorite driver, but then they get it back as well. Meanwhile, this little fight between the top 3 cars with the O2 and Chris Mayo out there. Meanwhile, another car, which I don't know whose car that is. Quite hard to judge out there, but he's jumping in there. That might be the 15, Austin Hearn there. We saw him have great battles last time around in the Cup Series as well, and he's just getting in there and getting to the top drivers. He's just got in ahead of the O2 car and might just be on the attack to Chris Mayo straight away.
Jeremiah Stutzman would be that O2 car trying to make some noise. He's been up near the front most of the race. He's dropping back a little bit right here. Austin Hund in that 15 coming fast.
Austin Hund out there just getting to show everybody that what he can do and what he's there to do, and I think he's doing it already with everybody around and showing everyone the challenge and talent out there. But meanwhile, Andrew Gruus looks to be comfortable at this point in time. Meanwhile, Donald Ray loses out a bit of positions, staying to the inside line. Only 2 cars on that low line. Meanwhile, everybody else on that high. And Andrew Gruus, look at that gap. He's staying to the outside. Maybe that outside line seems to be having a bit of more speed than the inside there at this moment in time, as that's a huge gap from the leaders for this time. Sure, everybody behind is going to catch them back in no time, but still, for time being, we could see them with a big gap to the rest of the field.
The 19 car here kind of running away now, as you can see. There's a little bit of a gap going on here between the 19 and it looks to be the 18. Yep, 18 coming up from the apron there, kind of going high, but there's probably, I would say, maybe about half a second gap here.
Yeah, the gap is a lot, and I think at the moment, Andrew Gross will be feeling happy and comfortable at this point in time. Sure, Aaron Jackson's not going to leave him behind, but he's got many cars behind him, the likes of Chris Mayo and Don Ledray, so he's got to try and defend from those guys. We saw the 18 try and defend and do some good defending earlier on, but that might have not been enough as he's lost the lead, but he might be able to get back to that lead in no time. We'll see, because it's just going to be one mistake away will be Andrew Gross. He learns a little bit wide, and the one behind could be through, and for a moment Don Ledray maybe thought to get going on Chris Mayo, but just doesn't do it so far. Both of them move a little bit low, but Chris is not going to be low enough to defend. Don Led might be through. They're still side by side. Who is it going to be coming out on top at this moment in time? We're watching these car two still going up. Meanwhile, Jeremy out there in that O2 car is giving that up there as well. Maybe makes it 3 wide. We'll see who does it better, and better one than one or the other. Meanwhile, Don Led is getting at it, and he's going at it. Both of them are just going to help each other get closer to the 18 and could well pressure out the 19 in no time. But still nobody close enough to Andrew Gross. I mean, still many laps to go to the end of this first stage. Of course, it's going to be at lap 40, so about 14 laps to the end. And I think it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top at the end of this first stage.
Chris Mayo been looking pretty strong here. You see he's fighting for top 3 here with Donald Ray in the 9.
Yeah, well, let's see what he does. He might just be having the best race of the season. I mean, we've seen him here and there in the mix a little bit, but not quite enough. Always some kind of an incident happen, or one or the other things happen that sees him pushed behind. But this, I think, has to be his best opportunity to stay within the leaders and compete with the best of them and get himself a chance of a top 3 here tonight.
Here he comes, trying to get underneath the 18 car for second place. Can Chris pull it off here? He's got a good run.
He's going at it. He's got the speed. He's got a very good momentum going on at this point in time to try and overtake the 18 car at this point in time. And I think it could well be happening. Of course, Don Ledray, after our previous race, Atlanta's winner, is out there in the top 4 at this moment in time. But still, the new winners could well be at it, and they could well be there to challenge everybody around. And sure, everybody's going to be out there to give their go. Meanwhile, Aaron Jackson has been able to defend at this moment in time. I mean, you have to say, sure, everybody ranked very, very close to Aaron Jackson, but he's been very, very good in terms of placing his car where it needs to be to try and defend. But it might not be enough to defend this time around, as Donald for a moment thought he could be through. But I think when is there going to be the moment that Aaron Jackson switches from high to low? At this moment in time, he stays on the outside. Are we going to see him moving up too low at this moment in time? Not quite, though. But Chris has got through. He might just be getting through on him. He's on low. Aaron's on high. But is Aaron going to find enough speed to get through? Is Chris going to try and get a go at him as Aaron comes to the inside? Very nicely done by him. And defends that move. And I think at this moment in time, if he didn't came there, it wouldn't have been enough. But it would have been enough for Chris, but he doesn't let him go. This time around, they might make it 3 wide at this moment in time, with Don Ledray attacking from behind as well. It could well be making 3 wide, but he's far away. Don Ledray a little bit far away, as Chris is going to hang in between there as well. And I think it will be interesting, and one of them, or in fact all 3 of them, would have to stay cautious, otherwise it could go all wrong.
Here we go. Chris Mayo going to the low side here on the 18 car of Aaron Jackson. Not enough to get around Jackson here as he tucks right back behind him. But now he's got a fight here. He's got the 9 of Donald Ray going low. Ray looking to get past him here.
Yep, he's giving at it. Meanwhile, the leader still stays ahead of everyone. I think as it looks, they're on 33, lap 33 out of 40, which of course is going to be the first stage. And as it stands, he looks very comfortable and in no pressure for that first stage win. Nobody yet close enough to get closer to him, or even just a bit close to, let alone overtake. But nobody's there to even attack a little and put pressure on him. He seems to be the most comfortable driver at this point in time in terms of position, being in that lead, and nobody really close enough to you.
In the 19 car, even like you look at the gap now compared to what it was the last time I brought it up. Quite a big gap here. He is checked out. He is gone.
He's far away. That might be let's have a look at it. How much the gap is. We're having a look at the overlay up ahead. We might just see the gap out there when these drivers next time pop out. At the moment, we're not seeing the gap between these two, but the gap 1.9 second of one of those drivers in between from the leader. So it'll be interesting to see what they can. I mean, at this moment in time, Aaron Jackson has got the fastest lap of 29.705, but he seems to be nowhere close to the race leader. Obviously, everybody may be trying to save up a little, but they don't need to be saving up a little. They don't even have time to save any tires of fuel if they even want to at this moment in time. Anyways, it's going to be a yellow of stage one as they're 3 wide now. This could well be interesting, but don't let Ray Beast to be the most one and the better and smarter one here at this point in time on the inside line and gets through on both of them. But Aaron Jackson might just be coming up to attack back there and let Ray. I think Don Led just wants some free air and some free track ahead of him to try and get back to the lead of Andrew Gross. He might be getting up there, but we'll see what our Atlanta Motor Speedway winner can do here in this race so far. With just 3 laps to go now at from the end of this first stage. Is he going to get closer anywhere in the leaders? Or will it be Andrew Gross taking it all and ahead of everyone?
Donald Ray doing what he can here. Try and catch back up to our leader. This is going to take some time to catch up. If he starts to pull away from this pack, if he can break away and focus on catching the leader right now, Andrew Gross, it's going to take some time because of how far out he is.
Yep, he's far away, and I think at this moment in time, Donlan not only needs the speed to catch him up, but not the pressure that he would be getting to try and defend for his own position at this point in time. That has been the problem for everybody out there in that pack. Sure, they might have the pace and speed to catch the top leader, but just that pressure from behind and having to fight those guys back and forth might have slowed down the process for all of them pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I have to agree with you on that one.
There's a lapped car in there in between there, which I believe it's 48, just trying to get through, maybe unlap himself, getting up back to the leaders. Meanwhile, Donlad in there just switching to the inside, but getting back to the outside to just get that lapped car get going, maybe. He's having a speed he might have had to pit out there, which had to get him to the end. But this time around, Andrew Gross might just be coming up and be your first stage 1 winner. We're on lap 40 out of the first stage 40 lap. We'll see who comes out second and third. But Andrew Gross will be ahead of everyone, and nobody gets closer to him at the end of this first stage. I think it might be the biggest stage win margin we've seen so far here in the Cup Series. And Andrew Gross comes up. It hasn't went yellow though. It hasn't went yellow at this moment in time.
And yellow.
And yellow now. So he did slow down in there. Did he lose positions, or was it some other cars? He slowed down instantly. The yellow went out very late though. So what are we making out of that?
Well, if you're Andrew right now, you ran a pretty good race up to this point and put on a great show. And man, I gotta tell you,
Oh, Andrew's out of fuel. Andrew is out of fuel. That is exactly what has happened to him. And the reason that he slowed down. And that has seen him trampling down the field. And that is exactly the reason why nobody was able to catch him. So they were saving their fuel. They were not. They were just maintaining and having a look at that. They don't run out at the end of this stage. And that has ended up happening to Andrew. And that's going to see Donlet Ray winning that first stage. It went from delight to disaster for Andrew Gross at this point in time, and that is going to see him fall back to the field.
Man, not good. Not good for Andrew here. You know, you're in his car and trying to, you know, take a win for the first stage here. Not how you wanted to end stage one.
Not at all. I mean, just that by the time he was looking as dominant as he could be, as he's ever been in this race, he's looked ahead of everyone. But just why we could know and guess that why Donlan and everybody behind wasn't attacking him, wasn't pushing as much more than they needed to. Sure, they might have just had an idea of Andrew Gers running out of fuel. Even if he didn't, they would have been very good. They would have been closer to each other at the end of this stage, and I think victory lies at the end of that for a third stage. If you're coming at number one, you're going to win it. Sure, some extra points at it, but Andrew might not get those as well at this point in time. He's fallen back massively, but let's see where he comes out if he does go out of the pits when we go green one more time, which is of course going to be from here to lap 85. It should be from stage 2 into stage 3, which we're going to move, of course.
So this restart's gonna be pretty interesting here.
It surely will be, with of course Donald Ray taking that lead, getting ahead of everyone, but the ones behind him are very close in the battle that was not for the lead early on with Andrew Gross with his big lead, but now Chris Mayo's got the best ever chance to get a lead and get into the lead car runners. But then of course Stuttman is not gonna be far away as well. Jeremy, of course, now we shall say the O2 car number 3 at this moment in time. Maybe he's number 4, in fact, maybe lost that position a little in pit road and stuff. But the top two are set to go and set to attack each other on for that lead, which could potentially be the move for the lead, which we could see here at this point in time.
And with that being said, since we are under caution, I am going to go grab a drink real quick. I will be right back, everybody.
As we have cars getting up back, just refueling, fueling up, and getting back to everything once again. And we'll see how long is gonna take before we go green, and green racing once again for that caution and for the green flag, of course, after the caution, which is gonna run now from stage 2. Stage 2, this stage 2 is gonna be, of course, from lap 40. We've passed lap 40 now, but whenever we go green, it's going to be from then to the end of lap 85, which is going to see us decide the stage 2 winner and potentially the winner of the race. But we'll see. Sometimes we've seen drivers win top 2 stages in a row. We saw in one of the races Donlan win the top 2 stages, get damaged in the third one, and not able to do it. So I mean, he knows it. Chris knows it. I'm sure he might have not been the one in the lead and in the top drivers for the first few races, but he knows it. He's seen at least from afar, even if from far behind. He knows it. What could go wrong? So he should be managing that as well. Meanwhile, the 75 of William is there, as well as Austin Hun in the 15. We have the pace car lights going off, so we might just be going green now in a few seconds' time, with the pace car coming up to its end of the Tanger, and we could be going green to the end of this lap, which is going to see us go green into lap 46 as the pace car lights are off, and we are going to wait. The drivers are waiting, and I think Donlet Ray at this moment in time looks like to be getting the best of starts, best of restarts at this point in time that he can get. He's just going to try and get him. He looks quite tense. I mean, he would obviously be looking tense. He would just be looking into his mirrors, into the side of his car to see where Chris Mayo is. But then Chris would also be looking to do the best he can. I think he's going to try and attack these guys and maintain it the best they can as the base car comes in. And we will be going green straight away, as we're going to get across that line and into lap 46 we're going to go, and he's got the restart. Don't let Ray's got the restart on the jump on the restart, and so has Austin Hund. Austin Hund's jumped Chris Mayo as well. Chris is going to fall behind. He might just lose out to the 48 as well. We'll see what they can do though, but Chris has got a good start, but he's had to move out low very instantly. He knew that he had to move to the inside line or even to the outside, but just stay single file between the leaders, because staying double file at this point in time might just not go his way. That we have seen though. He's lost the position. He's lost the chance to take the lead and lost the position to Austin Hund as well. The top two is very, very different what it was going into the restart, and Austin Hund has now jumped in, but Chris Mayo is going to come back at him. Good Bell be trying to do that. From low to high to low he goes. He's going to come back at him. He's going to try and give it a go. We'll see what they're all going to be doing. Meanwhile, the 48 on the inside line is going to be there as well. Jeff Pepper's out there as it is. But is he lapped? He might be the lapped car in there in between. I don't think he's he's racing those guys in between, but we'll see what it's all going to be happening at this point in time. Meanwhile, the lead is Chris Mayo is back. Chris is back to the top in that second place ahead of Austin Hund at this point in time, and now could well be going for a race leader for at first place of the race, which he could well be testing for after a long time here at BMRL, and I think he knows it. He wants to get to the top one more time. He might have been there a few times before, but he wants to get back there in no time, and he's taken that. I think he looks the most prepared and the best of the drives that he's had so far, at least in the first stage since the start of the season. And I think this could well be calling up to see what he can do though, because after the end of this lap we are going to go into lap 50, then it's going to be 35 laps to the end of this stage, so it's going to be 40 laps of course, and that's in this second stage as well, as he went out green at the end of lap 45. So it's going to be 40 laps in those first stages. Then if we are going live, no matter what lap we're going back green. But let's see what is going to be happening about. I was talking about the third stage, which is going to be the longest and biggest of this lot so far, which is going to be almost 80 laps, 80 to 85 laps under green flags, unless if we don't have much cautions. I mean, we've seen great green flag racing here at this point in time. Meanwhile, Chris Mayo's going to go for it around the outside, and that's going to be him taking that lead. Might just be having that, and yes, he will. Meanwhile, Jeff Peppers is behind in that 11th place. He's a few laps down on these leaders, but he might just be getting himself to try and overlap him, try and unlap himself, but not quite able to do that. Just stays between the two. We haven't got Mike yet. He's not back. The drink yet to go and get, but at the moment in time, get up and he just gets it back out there. Just maybe watching the race, just enjoying it, just like all of you, having a look at this amazing battles between. And now this battle could be turning out with I'm not sure what Jeff Peppers is doing, but he might have just gotten up himself unlapped and ahead of the leaders, but he might be finding it very hard. And Don Ray is almost stopped by Jeff Peppers in there, and I think that's going to benefit Chris Mayo as he's going to rapidly move ahead. And now Jeff is doing everything to maybe stop the Don Ray at this moment in time, to try and defend for Chris Mayo almost, because sure, Chris would have been in big pressure from Don there, but he has done it. I think Jeff Peppers has done it all for Chris Mayo at this point in time. Looking at this, of course, he's going to do it. And yes, they are teammates. So Chris Mayo and Jeff Peppers, pretty much Jeff helping Chris at this point in time. But Chris going to get back and maybe now try and defend from Donlad and let Jeff through. But at this point in time, as it stays, Chris still stays in that lead, but now both of them could well be in there. And I think Jeff is almost trying to defend from Donlad out there to try and help his teammate.
Yeah, it looks like a good possibility here, trying to help out the teammate, trying to get a win for the team here.
Yeah, really, I think they're going at it, and I believe Jeffrey's a lapped car at this point in time. He's not in there for the leaders, as it shows. He's in 11th place, so he's just helping out his team at this moment in time, rather trying to focus on his own race. They're just trying to get on and work as a team at this point in time. Beard Motorsports drivers, both of them. One more time, and I think their other teammate Andrew Groves, of course, who was leading for so long earlier on, running out of fuel, and that saw him tumbling down back to the field. And at this moment in time, still, Jeff is doing all he can to defend for his team, and I think this team game is looking and pretty much visible. But Chris is losing positions. He's losing so many positions on the outside there, and that is going to see him lose out a lot of those. He's going to lose him since he's got to the outside, maybe try and make a double file, but he has to back out, and I think he has seen what happened to his teammate earlier on, so he might just be wanting to back out a little to save on those fuel and tires a little, to not run out of any fuel or grip that they might need. But William now at this point in time in that 75 gonna go all at it, might just take the lead on the outside. There's Jeffrey Pepper, no driver on the outside there, but Jeff now places his car in the middle of the track to try and defend from the outside line, but from the inside line as well. Some great defending, but Jeff William is gonna go around the outside, and so far getting to first place and take on the lead of the race.
In the 75 car with a great move for the lead here, but Donald still on the low side trying to find a way around this 48 car to try and catch back up and grab the lead. This has been kind of a crazy thing going on here. You see that people, you know, when they work together as a team, they will pull anything off to get the W, and this is a good explanation of, well, you know, how to help the team get the W here. This is a good way to do it here.
Absolutely, and I mean Jeff Peppers is doing everything, and this time around he might just be having to defend from his own teammate, but giving a little bit drafting to his own, to Chris a little. That's going to help him get closer to Donlan, and now try and attack as William has went ahead and gotten ahead of both those and taking that lead. But maybe Peppers thought and understood that sure, William might not be as fast as Donlan out there, and I think that's going to help. Where maybe Chris out there a little to get ahead of Donlan, and if he's able to do that, but not so far, he's not able to do that as Austin gets through as well, and Chris Mayo falls back to 4th place, and the lead could well be looking at Donlan as he just has to attack William now at the 75.
And Austin Hund there in the 15, keeping that car in really good position here, keeping it clean. No accidents here. He's running quick. He's in the top 3. He's another one that we could be looking at here to make a move and possibly get out front here as well.
Absolutely, and I think, let me tell you about Austin Hund. I remember in that previous truck series race, he was showing great speed, got involved in multiple incidents, fall back of the field, but came back to finish in 2nd place, came back to finish inside that top 3. So his speed is there, his pace is there, as long as he keeps it in between the track and away from any driver or any balls out there. He might as well be in there. Sure, he's going to be in that top 3, but maybe or maybe not, we could be seeing him at the top and victorious as well. But we'll see who takes out the 2nd stage win. It looks like very tight from everybody around. Meanwhile, William around the outside and just going around high of Chris Mayo, who was low, and that's going to help him get past, but they're still side by side. Just not easy enough to get past at all.
And you can see Austin climbs into 2nd place there. Here he comes trying to run down Donald right here. Let's see if he can get to that back bumper here.
Yes, he's going to go for that. He's going to try around that at this moment in time. Jeffrey Pepper's trying everything to help his teammate, but he can't quite do it at this point in time. He might be able to do it ahead as he just moves ahead of William there at this point in time and try and defend, maybe try and slow him down a little as well, but try and help Chris Mayo get forward and get closer back to the leaders. And Austin Hund, I think at this moment in time, just trying to attack the leaders. He could well be on. All fights are on, but Andrew Gruz now back into 5th place as well. He could well be getting back inside that top 3 and into the leaders, but this time around, he has to make sure that he does not run out of any fuel out there, because that is going to hurt him like no other, because a big chance of a victory out there going like this is going to hunt you for a long time.
And you know, another nice thing here, if the 9 car takes stage 2, that puts him in position to take the sweep of all 3 stages here tonight. He'd be looking pretty good here once again this week, man.
Yes, he does, but let's remember a few races ago, Donald Ray, I don't remember in what series it was, because we ran in 3 series this week here at BMRL, but we saw Donald Ray in a number 9 car, winning 2 stages in a row, but in that 3rd one, he was involved in a wreck, and still ended up finishing P2 though, but he did not end up winning. So we've seen a few times actually drivers winning the first 2 stages and not being able to convert it into a 3rd and a hat-trick of stage wins and a race victory as well. So it could all be going all wrong into those remaining laps. I think we are about to be just a few laps to the end of the stage. Of course, it's going to be at lap 85, I believe. So still a few laps to the end, but I think that final stage is going to be it's going to be the longest stage of with almost 85 or 80 laps to be going at this point in time, and I think it's all going to be the race to watch. Sure, it's been a great and good battles around here, but the 3rd one might as well be an interesting and very intense one for these drivers and for us watching out there as well.
Donald Ray's got to be starting to sweat a little bit here. Austin Hund doing exactly what we were going to check on. Here he comes to the back bumper. He's going to be looking for the outside here. And no, he chooses to, right there with Donald Ray, try and draft to get up to the bumper even closer here. I think we're going to see a move here in the next couple laps, Zeb.
Yes, we're definitely going to see it. I think maybe Austin Hunt just staying a little bit patient. He knows that he's got the chance, and maybe staying a little bit behind and drafting a little could help him even get more closer and more certain of the move being completed, because sometimes you can hang his car in there, but he might not be enough. And then look how close Chris Mayo as well. He's not far behind as well, so maybe a one wrong move and one wrong decision from Austin Hunt could well see him fall behind of Chris Mayo as well. So he knows the importance of the 2nd place as well, and I think he's going to try and make sure that when he goes for it, when he makes his decision to go for that lead move, that he takes it. He doesn't stay behind. He doesn't stay double-minded, because sometimes that could be disaster for you. I think at this point in time, he looks certain to stay behind him and just looking for a moment to overtake. For a moment, he thought him moving a little bit to the inside, but just gets going back. And still staying patient, still showing the patience at this point in time, with just 15 laps to go now to the end of this 2nd stage.
Yeah, this stint here for stage 2, man, there's been some good action here between the top 3. Austin really putting on a show here, trying to get up front.
Yeah, Austin's really giving us the fight. I think Donald Ray would have been expected to fight early on to Andrew Gruz, but he wasn't able to do that. But I think in the end we got that answer, and so everybody sure has that in mind as well, because sometimes you might be doing everything right, but just in the back of your head you would be thinking that this happened to the other driver, it might happen to me as well. So I think all of those drivers at this moment in time will be trying their best to not remember that and really focus on their own race at this point in time, which Austin Hund is really giving the pressure to Donald Ray. And sure, we saw Donald winning that first stage just because of an unfortunate unfortunate issue. But I think even in that first stage, he wasn't pulling away. You know, he was still in the fight. He was still in pressure and really being pressured by the drivers behind, and that still continues on with Austin Hund on the attack of Donald Ray as he moves to the high line and almost for an overtake there. We saw gonna go for him, but just in time, Donald closed the door and didn't let Austin through.
Yeah, Donald absolutely shutting the door on the 15, not giving him an inch here. He wants to get this second stage put away and take that W here in the second stage. This is going to be a tough one here to win. Austin is all over him.
Yeah, I think Donald's really going to try and get back, just do best he can, but I think we saw some great moves from Aaron Jackson earlier on. He's currently out of this race as it stands in 12th place. Not sure what happened out there to him. He's not nowhere to be found, but I think Austin has to be, Donald has to be careful as well to not try and really ruin his race at this point in time, and I think he might be looking on to 2-2 stage wins at this point in time, but Austin's not going to leave, and I think Austin might just be waiting for that final few laps, might just be waiting for that final moment, because he could run out right behind him all race he wants, but just when it comes to time to overtake, they could be going side by side to the line and give us a photo finish.
Yeah, that is a good possibility. We could possibly see a side-by-side photo finish here if Austin can find some daylight, either get underneath him or get above him here to try and challenge for the lead.
Yes, I mean, he's been trying to get it, but I think Donald really placing his car very nicely and defending fantastically, and that shows how he's won that first stage and looking on to make it in 2-2, and he could well be looking under 2 wins in a row for him as well, but not quite at this point in time, and I think we'll see what he's going to be able to do, and Austin might just be hanging behind and waiting for that perfect moment to go for it, because he knows he just has to go for it in those final 2 to 3 laps, and just because he might just go for it right now, but then Donald is going to come back at him. He wants to make that move and be certain about it. He doesn't want Donald to attack back on him, so at this point in time as it stands, he still stays behind.
Donald playing some really good defense here. And here we come, lap traffic. And no problem. He goes to the high side to let the lead pack by. Some respectable driving there by the lap traffic car there. But once again, here they come across the straight. Mayo is starting to catch up, trying to draft Austin here to catch up. And it looks to be working. Here comes Mayo, the third place car, trying to close just a small gap here as you see Austin looking for a move once again here on the 9 car.
Just staying there and not quite enough at this point in time. We should be moving on to lap 79 now, with the laps coming to an end. Lap after lap, we're getting closer and closer to the end of that second stage, but Austin Hund now needs to not only attack Donald for that race lead, for that second stage victory chance, that all he wants, but he might be in big pressure from Chris Mayer, and Chris could well be on the way to make it another second place here at the end of this second stage, and I think fight will be on, not for that race lead, but for that second place as well. The top 3 are all at it, and I think Chris would just probably hoping for one thing here at this point in time, would be that he wants both the top 2 fight each other, maybe make a mistake, maybe run a little bit wide, so he could get through at this point in time. That's what looks the possibility for him, because I don't think he's sure trying to draft out, but doesn't look fast enough at this point in time.
The 9 car here still staying alive as your leader, but the 15 car of Hunt trying to apply the pressure. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it in time here. The 9
there,
car,
meanwhile, Austin now goes wide. As he goes very, very wide, did Austin Hund there we saw, and that is going to allow Chris Mayo to get closer, and for the move that we thought was laps coming from laps to go isn't going to be happening, but might just be happening the other move, which we didn't saw earlier on. that Chris Mayo could be getting through, but I think these top three are at it at this point in time. One wrong move from one or the other driver could well be letting other through, but I think Donald, you have to say, has stand better than the other two of them, and so far has done an extremely amazing job to try and defend. But Austin Hund out there might have learned a lot from Donald Ray, just watching him ahead of him to try and defend from Chris Mayo as well, because he hasn't let him through past at all. We might just be seeing this order to the end of the race. I'm certain about, not the end of the race, but then this is second stage. But Chris Mayo is looking for his chance. He's gonna look and do everything in just these remaining the 3 laps remaining, including this one, to the end of this stage.
And if you're the 15 car here of Austin Hund, here's what you do for this stage. In my opinion here, what you do is you try to mock every single move Donald Ray is going to make. Stay in that draft, get on that bumper, and wait for a moment of daylight. Just be patient and wait for your move here.
Yes, and I think that's pretty much what we are seeing him do at this point in time, because we've seen him get closer a lot of the time, but just not going forward. I think he knows it, and even if he's just side by side with Donald Ray on that restart that we go, of course, into that third stage, that could well be his chance as well, because earlier on we saw Donald Ray get a great restart. We saw him take that lead, but Chris Mayo now might just be coming up around the outside of Austin Hund out there, and could well be losing the second place position. Would be Austin Hund, and they are side by side now. Austin's move for the lead could be coming off, but Chris's move for second place will be on as he takes on second place. But are we going to see him move to the low side rapidly out there? He doesn't quite do so. Austin might just be going for it. Meanwhile, we're on lap 85 out of 85, so just at the end of it we're going to come. Donald Ray looks on to be winning this second stage and making 2 stages in a row. We're still going green though, just waiting for the flags to go yellow, but this is gonna mark the end of the second stage then. That is gonna be it. Donald Ray taking it 2 in a row. I think Austin Hund there tried everything out there, but did not go his way. And now, just like at the stage 1 restart, Chris Mayo has another chance to take that lead. Earlier on, Donald did a good restart, and Chris wasn't able to get closer, but he's got one more chance out there.
So, Zeb, if you're Donald Ray right now, man, you got to be feeling pretty good. He's had a strong car all race. He took the first stage. Here is the second stage coming out as your winner once again for another part of this race. If you're Donald Ray right now, what do you do here in this next stage to get the sweep?
I think not much different than what he's done in this second stage. Just try and get a great restart. Just try and get a good restart, which he did on the previous lap. I wonder if you were there or not to see that restart, but he had a fantastic one. He stayed side by side for a little. When they were just about to go green, he brakes a little. He breaks the toe of the cars behind and just gets going and rapidly move forward. But I think it'll be interesting. The management would be crucial here as well in this stage, and the rate in the pit road could well be on here at this point in time as well between Austin and Donald Ray. But we'll see what it's going to be all about. Just heading pit road, these drivers, to get themselves the best. But I think when they're back out on the circuit, they could well be for the fight. And I think Donald Ray at the moment would well be having a point. And I think this man has raced. He won previous week as well. So he's got the experience. He's got the feeling of winning. And he knows how much important it is. So he sure will be looking to be as patient as he can. And then just use all of his tactics, not make any mistakes. And hopefully stay away from any wrecks that are anywhere to be coming out his way. But I think third stage, you cannot be certain, because sometimes in that third and final stage we see things we wouldn't have even hoped, we wouldn't have even would you say that we wouldn't have even remember, as they say, like we wouldn't have even just remembered or even wished for these things to happen. But in this third stage, that ends up happening. But we'll see. I think just staying out of any wrecks, any problems at this moment in time, he's just going to do what he's done so far.
And another thing here too, if you're a league owner at this point, you have to be pretty happy here with your drivers' performances, with keeping everything green flag. We haven't seen any accidents yet this race. Nothing but green and battling here, and it's been awesome. But also, too, I want to bring this up. If you are Donald Ray right now, you've got to be a little nervous about the 15 car because he's still looking pretty fast. Uh, we've seen what he could do. We saw what he did last week, and man, it looks like he's going to put another gem on here tonight.
Yes, he really is, and I think Austin's really going at it. I think he deserved those victories as well. He has looked fast pretty much every time, but one way or the other he gets involved in those wrecks or incidents and just sees him fall back, and I think this is his best opportunity. This is his best ever opportunity this season so far that he's got to go for that race victory. Just like Donald, he needs to stay out of wrecks. I think as it stands, I mean, the speed they've shown, unless until these two bump into each other, there's not much and nobody really closer to them to attack.
And, you know, also, too, Chris Mayo being up in the mix, I mean, he kind of just came from nowhere, man. And you seen he was fighting there, got up in the second, but Donald, he held on to the lead, and Austin, you know, when they were fighting side by side, it was close, man. It could have been either one of them taking second place in stage 2 there. It was so close. It could have been either one.
Yeah, I think Chris Mayo, not to forget as well, he surely had the best race of the season, if we're talking about performance, and he's done a fantastic job as well. I think everybody around has as well, as you said, Mike, just keeping it out of the barriers, keeping it out of each other as well, just not connecting each other, and great racing at this point in time.
And also, too, to the viewers out there tonight, I'm going to give a shout out to you guys. And guys, don't forget to go to the BMRL network on YouTube and give them a subscribe, and feel free to give them some likes too. They do a pretty good job with putting on some good shows. And also too, feel free to check out our channel as well. That would be Extreme Sim TV on YouTube. And yeah, we'd really like to have you guys be part of the community. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. All right, man. 90 laps in out of 170. We've got a long stretch to go here for this final stage. What are your thoughts about that?
They're great, and I think there are so many laps now to the end. If we are going green at the end of this one, we'll have about 80 laps to the end, and I think it's going to be tiring. It's going to be just somewhat to look at, and I think it'll be not only for us but for the drivers racing as well. It could be fatiguing for these guys to be racing for so long as we've went green so far. And our leader at this moment in time, it looks like it might be Chris Mayo leading at this point in time. We aren't seeing Donald. He's far behind, and I think Chris might just be leading in there. There's a lapped car hanging in there in between on the inside, and I think Chris might just have his teammate ahead of everyone, and I think he might be in there again to try and defend and really help him at this point in time. And I think Beard Motorsports, the teammates are really at it in tactics. I think the strategies and the mind games that they must be playing against everybody. Let's see what about Jeff Peppers is doing. He's staying to the outside, and again, he's giving out all the pressure that he can. Sure, Andrew Gross moves to the inside line. Both the teammates, 3 teammates in between him. There then, Jeff Peppers, Chris Mayo, and Andrew Grues. There's a car ahead, similar livery to Chris's car. Quite hard to judge. That might be the number 5, but I think they're all added at this moment in time. Chris Mayo and Andrew Grues at this moment in the 1-2, the 2 teammates, and I think Jeff Peppers might have helped both of them, and they are back at it. And Andrew, who lost that lead and that race stage win and at the end of that first stage, is back to the top now and to give us the fight and performance that they need.
Andrew here trying to push his way back up to the lead here. He's really close, and it's impressive that he went from running out of gas to the position he's in now, but everybody here being really close to each other, everything kind of tight here if you're going to make moves, you really have to pay attention to your surroundings because this could get bad really quick if you're not careful.
Yes, it can. I think this is exactly what would be talking about as well in that final stage. Sure, maybe some of the drivers we see would be a little bit patient in those first few stints, in those first few, in the first two stages. But in that third one, nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants their position, and really they want to take it. They want to take it all. Sure, it could be third stage, 80 laps to the end almost, but they're all going to be at it. And that when it comes to that final stage, everybody's like, I'm going to do it. I want to take that lead. I want to take that race win or even that position to gain a few extra points. And obviously feel a little bit happy as well, finishing one place up. So he could well be going up. Meanwhile, they're almost 3 wide in there. William and Chris on the outside as well. That could have been gone wrong. They almost went 3 wide and almost sandwiched in between the two cars was Andrew Gruz, as now Donald is out there and really back into the lead as well on the inside. Meanwhile, William on the inside as well, and Austin Hund in that 15 just outside that top 4. The fight could well be on. I think it is looking like to be on already.
And Zeb, the 15 car here still doing some great work. As you can see, he's still in the mix here, but man, there are so many cars here side by side, bumper to bumper. It's going to take him a minute to be able to make a move here because there's so much in this group going on right now.
Yeah, I think they're all at it. They're all bunched up at this point in time, and I think almost now one of the cars tries to go double file on the outside, and that's going to be Chris Mayo losing positions. But I think he might just be falling back a little. He might just want to get to the back of the pack and feel a little bit relaxed because he might have been in big pressure. Or now they're waiting for Andrew Gruz to take the chance because Andrew Gruz is back to the top, and they will be wanting him to take that chance because I think there is some tactics going on at Beard Motorsports, the team. They're playing big team games, and that this looks like to be a part of it. Chris Shore losing many positions, but he might get back as well as soon as he's into those right behind Austin Hund single file, and drafting could well get him back to the leaders. And I think now we could be seeing Andrew Gruz could well be on the attack to Donald straight away.
Donald Ray here looking good here for this final stretch for the race, this final stage. I mean, if he could take this would be absolute dominance here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this would be fantastic. Like, he's got everything. He's got the first 2 stage victories, and he could well be into the third one as well. And I think it would be very amazing because he will be feeling great to make it 3 in a row at this point in time. But it might not be easy for him as much as he's had those first 2 stage wins. This will be on. He's got not 1, 2, but 3 cars to attack him for that race lead.
Team car there of Andrew Gruz. Man, like, this dude is strong here tonight as well. We got a bunch of people, honestly, here tonight that have cars that are strong enough to take this thing. It's just a matter of who's going to be lucky enough to be there at the end.
Yeah, that exactly matters, and I think that matters a lot. We're now over 100 laps into the race, and we've still got about 68 laps to go, and this is what it shows how long of this race is, and the patience is going to be the key. Even third stage, which will be the biggest of them all tonight, and this could well be the biggest patience game ever at this point in time.
Yeah, at this point of time into the race, I'm going to honestly be keeping my eye on the 9 car, Donald Ray. I mean, the dude has shown us last week, super strong, won the race. Here he is once again putting on a good show. My eyes are going to be on him, but also, too, I'm not going to take my eyes off of that 15 car. He has been really strong, really good, knows what line he needs to run to move up the field, and it's just a matter of time, honestly. until he gets up there and tries to fight for the lead again. In my opinion, that would be my opinion.
Yes, I think he's gonna get it. I mean, sure, we saw him play a bit of a patience game. Sure, maybe in the end he tried making moves, but lost a little to Chris Mayer behind. But that doesn't always mean that he's gonna lose out again. So he could well be looking strong. I mean, he's gonna let Andrew Gruz fight for the time being ahead, and maybe William ahead as well. But when a time comes when we are to the end of the race, maybe just 10-15 laps in, he could well be getting himself in to the race lead.
Yeah, Chris Mayo here this race has looked really good, and I'm honestly kind of rooting for him as well because he's got the car to do it. He showed that in the last stage. He's not one to count out, and here he is. He's in the top 5. He's not really all that far off. All it's going to take is one good run with a draft, and he could slingshot his way through part of that field.
He's going to be at it, and I think we're just about 64 laps to go now. Still got a lot of the pack, and I think we need to stop focusing on the laps remaining, but rather the action going on. But I think these drivers now would be looking at the laps remaining lap after lap, because they've been driven these cars for over 107 laps, and they have to still go around many times. So the strategies, when it comes to planning, they would be planning. Well, of course, I'm sure they would have pitted at the end of this second stage and taking out fuel and tires if they want, but it would be very unlikely they're going to make it on this same fuel or same tire, probably not tires, but fuel on the same fuel to the end of the race. So we saw the Andrew Gruz running out of it even before the end, just at the end of that first stage. So we will be seeing these cars pitting in one time at least before the end of this race, Mike.
Sorry about that. I was checking something there. Yeah, you don't see too many people that can do what Donald is doing here for like week in, week out. I mean, this dude, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to handle the car. Obviously, not every track is going to be full throttle, turn left, and stay low. A lot of these tracks, a lot of the smaller tracks, it's going to take throttle control, and I believe this is one that may require some on corner entry, and he's doing it just like hey, I've got this. Check me out. I'm here out front. But look at Andrew here, getting on the rear bumper of him. Now he's going to be sweating.
Yes, he will well be, and I think he hasn't got the attack from anybody behind. I mean, what I'm saying is, sure, Donald is doing very amazing, far much behind. He's just showing that he's one level better than anybody behind, but when it comes to attacking, he might just be feeling a little bit of pressure now with Andrew just getting closer to him and closer, and I think Andrew just would be looking cautious. I mean, sure, nobody else, but himself running out of the fuel earlier on, he would be a little bit more cautious and a lot more worrying about running out of tires or running out of fuels, I shall say, and just leaving enough of it to get himself to the end of the race or just to the pit stop window that should be coming up any lap that he knows when he's going to have to pit. Meanwhile, Austin Hund now very close to William out there as well, and he could well be making that move. Out there, he's going to go low. William is going to go high, very high. That's not going to help him at all. And that's going to be Austin Hund through on William. And he's going to switch back to the outside and get himself into the top 3. And Austin Hund could well be back in the attack for the lead.
Austin there with a great move to shut the door on that 75 car. Really close to the front bumper, but manages to get in there safely, and like you said, here he is in the top 3, and he is closing that gap here as we speak. Donald might be into a little bit of trouble here, Zab.
Yes, he might be, and I think he now has not only one but two cars to defend on. Sure, Austin's going to try and put that pressure on Andrew, but Andrew's going to try and do the same to Donald as well. And this is now getting real. This is now going to be the real test of Donald at this point in time if he's able to defend from these guys. Sure, he did everything earlier on to try and defend from Austin, but will he be able to defend from Andrew Gross at this point in time? But before Andrew could try and attack Donald, he might be in pressure from Austin Hunt behind, who's been nothing short of exceptional performance tonight. And I think it's once again showing it all. It's going one more time at this point in time.
The 19 car of Andrew, though, not giving up. You notice he is running the same exact line, not letting him get too far away here.
Not away, and I think it's showing up. The pressure's getting on. The performance that the drivers need to do is getting up to them as well, and I think it's all happening at this point in time here at Las Vegas, and it's all added. I think lap 115 out of 170. It's still got a lot of laps, so many laps to the end, and it all is gonna shape out. And I think when we are over maybe lap 140, lap 150, then could well be we see some back and forth overtakings and changing for the leads. Still showing patience, still showing a little bit of resistance from overtaking. Sure, both of them are, I mean, they're not going for it. They're a little bit behind, but I think they should well be having enough pace. They will be having enough speed to get through, but still want to be staying patient. Still want to be not putting up pressure on the leader right now, because if you do it a little bit early on, and when it's not time, you could well be running out of resources, which we just saw with Andrew Gross earlier on, and it could well be going very, very wrong for you. So I think still the patience is the game with this long of a race, and still going on between these drivers.
Yeah, this battle has been drug out here for the whole entire race with basically these four right here. And, you know, not to mention also Chris Mayo, but he happens to not be right there with that pack. Not really sure what happened with him, but these four, they've been battling all race, and it's been fun to watch here. All four of these guys, man, it could be anybody's race at this point.
Yes, it could well be. I think it could well be Donald. It could well be Andrew. Austin Hund. Williams not far away as well. He's in fourth place. Chris may fall short a little, but maybe a little bit of fuel saving going on a little bit if needed. So, but he's far behind. I think over 5 seconds as it shows. He might just be falling a little bit back, and I think, as you said, something might have happened with him, or he just lost it in pit road and just hasn't been able to be recovering from this restart. And he's now got Jeremy right behind him, so he's got the attack of Jeremy to defend. I think he's finding it hard at this point in time. As good of a start he had, he hasn't been able to capitalize on it in the ending parts.
Donald Ray here trying to defend that inside line from the 19 of Andrew Gross, but I mean, he's not really pulling away. But look at Austin here, looking like he's catching up to the rear bumper of Andrew a little bit. This is going to be a good one here. At this point, I don't know who I would put my money on if I was a betting guy for this race.
Yeah, you're completely correct. I mean, anybody can take it, and still, I mean, honestly, I'm not shocked, but amazed by we haven't seen a single wreck in this race and how clean these guys have been racing around each other. Sure, there aren't many drivers around the track, but it happens. Sometimes even if there are not many, just 3 cars going together, or even 4 cars just racing around each other, could well be bumping in. And these drivers have done an absolutely amazing job to keeping it out on the circuit. And now it could well be on. Austin Hone just lap after lap, corner after corner, gets closer to Andrew, but then Andrew does the same as well to Donald. I think it keeps happening back and forth and no move that we are seeing so far. But Austin moves to the outside, a little bit high. I think Andrew went very low out there, but still comes back to high once again, and that's gonna see him repeat the process for many, many laps to go at this point in time.
And you know, I know we're on lap 123 of 170 here, but you've got to keep in mind this next pit stop is going to be a green flag stop. This is really going to change some things here. It's going to really come down to who's got the better strategy. Is it going to be Donald? Will it be Andrew? Or will we see Austin climb into the lead?
Yeah, it happens. I think that is exactly what's going to happen. And green flag pit stop, that's the thing you like about them. That anything could go wrong, anything could go right for one or the other. Chris Mayo, you're seeing far away from the leaders at this point in time. Maybe he does something with that strategy and sees him get back to the leaders. And it could well be running on and vice versa for everybody around. They could be doing one thing wrong or right. That could well be happening because sometimes some drivers just take fuel on the pit stops. Some take tires as well. So they're all trying to win that race on the pit road as well. I think sometimes that race ends up being your main race and out on track. Meanwhile, Jeremy is going to go on the inside and going to take that move that finally happens for him. And the moves have been coming along many, many long laps ago. But we finally see one car getting past another after 25 laps or even about 30 laps of the restart.
Yeah, very nice move. Man, you know, Chris Mayo, like I said, he's been kind of quick, so very impressive there for Jeremy to get around him there in that 02 car.
Yeah, Jeremy is doing a great job at this point in time. I think he's just kept him within those leaders at this point in time. I mean, looking at this, we've got 13 lead changes. Look at that, and that shows the quality of their racing, the quality of performance by these drivers, and they've done an exceptional job at this point in time, and I think they're still going at it. I won't be surprised if after the pit stop, if even this number of late changes increases, and I'm sure it will increase, because no way Donald is able to keep his lead till the end of it. Sure, if he's able to do it, no doubt about it, he's done a great job, but he's got 3 monster speed fast drivers behind him, so they could well be on at it. But I think you have to say Donald has done an exceptional job in defending, which is very crucial in racing, especially if you want to keep your place, especially in a racing like over racing where almost a car is right behind you almost for the whole race. If not one or the other car, one driver goes in, the other comes right behind you. So to defend and stay ahead and all of these drivers, it has been a great job for him. But it'll be very interesting to see if he's able to come on and make it 3 stage wins in a row, the hat-trick of stage wins and the race victory that he gets as well, 2 in a row. But I think this so far it has been his race to be taken. I think even if he's losing out, sure, others are attacking him, but it would be his race to lose at this point in time. I think if he maybe not by speed, but if he puts it in, if he makes a mistake, if he puts it in the wall, that'll be like his race to lose. You know, others are there to win, but it'll more be like it is his race. But if he loses out, it'll be his race to lose, not others to win.
Another thing to keep in mind here, though, Zeb, remember during the yellow here for the end of the second stage, you've seen them go into the pits, and when they were taking the pits, we had, Donald Ray was leading, but coming out of the pits, you notice how much faster Austin Hoon there got out. A couple seconds before the 9 car of Donald Ray. And you never know. I mean, green flag pit stop, possibility could happen again.
Yeah, it sure will, and I think definitely that pit road race that we are talking about, it could well be up and going good and wrong for one or the others, and I think sometimes you could be stuck behind one or the other driver in that pit lane as well, because of course you have to go a certain speed limit, and if one is ahead of you, you can't overtake unless you are back out on the circuit. Meanwhile, Donald heads into the pits, and now the strategy and the time of that green flag pit stops starts to get going on lap 31, which is going to become 32, and I think now this could well be on. Will Donald's pit stop will be the pit stop that wins him the race, or the ones that were behind him, which are of course going to take the lead now. But when they come into the pits, will they be able to get back out at the top? And I think this will be now the time to see who gets back on the top and takes the top of the lead and the race lead, and could well be on for Rick's victory.
Definitely, I think that was a good call there last second for Donald Ray to take his pit stop, because you think about it this way, he's basically the first person to get into the pits and first person to get out this lap. If Austin Hund pits, he's got a chance to really pull away here with the 75 car.
He's thought about it. I mean, very late, tried that nobody follows him, because that'll becomes a lot tighter, and that becomes hard for everybody around. And I think at least, sure, he might have William very closer now than he was a few cars behind, but earlier on he had 2-3 cars to defend. At this point in time, he only has 1, so I think that might just be easy for him, rather than to defend against 2 more cars, which were going to be very fast as well if he was going to let those guys past. So he's got a good chance, and I think we'll see who's played a better strategy here, who's got the minds and thinking that's going to get them the race victory.
Yeah, I think the 9 car, man, I know I keep talking about, Donald, but dude, he's just really kept himself in a position to win this race every stage. And this green flag pit stop, he was on point, totally on point. And the 75 car here, good on him for following. Like, he could not have timed that any better. He did what the leader did, and the 75 car basically kept himself in a chance to take the lead here. Look at him right here as you see him getting closer and closer to Donald here. This will be a pretty good battle here.
Yes, it sure will be. Meanwhile, we have FKC cars coming out of the pits, but it's none of the leaders that were earlier on, which we have in our sights at this point in time. And I think Donald is going at it, and he's really keeping it out there, but he might just be in pressure a little from Williams out there. But I think the great defending that he's done, he's got to be taking care of that, and I'm sure he'll be able to take care of that, unless both of these drivers have fresher tires and the grip feels better for William than it does for Donald. It could well be going all wrong. But I think having to defend from Austin Hund and Andrew Gross earlier on, Donald might just be feeling a little bit better trying to defend from William. But that doesn't always mean that if he was not able to overtake those guys, he's not going to be able to overtake him as well. It is going to be, as I earlier said, that Donald's race to lose. If Williams is able to get through, he's going to try everything to keep himself ahead and not let Donald overtake one more time. And I think he's moving around. We could see William there moving left or right. Again, just looking for that moment and perfect time when he thinks that it's time to send it in. He just might go in there with now just about 33 laps to go to the end.
Close to the end of this race, and yeah, things haven't really changed with the 9 car.
Yes, they haven't, and I think he's done an exceptional job. It's nothing less than dominant performance at this point in time. Every lap after lap we're seeing, and we're thinking that somebody's going to overtake him. They're going to try and overtake, get ahead, but just not enough. I think everybody's doing out there, but Donald is on a level of his own at this point in time. Hopefully that curse doesn't catch him, but as it stands, that sometimes drivers say that they get the commentator's curse, but at this point in time, and he's been doing an exceptional job, and nobody will. Well, I was going to say myself, but I think nobody watching out there would be surprised if Donald makes it 3 stages in a row and gets the victory as well.
So with about 30 laps to go here, if you're the 9 car, do you play the relaxed and just run your race game here, or because the 75 is right there with you, do you keep your foot on the pedal and just go as hard as you can until the end?
I think we'll see what he's able to do. Sure, he must, obviously he knows better about his tire health, his tire life, and his fuel as well. What he needs to do, what chance and what throttle he needs to keep to get himself to the end. But then, if you're him, I mean, maybe sure Donald, the great defending he's doing, able to keep that position. He must have enough speed. He must have enough performance to maybe pull himself away, just like we saw earlier. Andrew Gruss do that, but that doesn't always go right as well. So if he's just able to defend, I mean, if he just knows that, I'm sure he's got an idea that when and where can William attack, so he's just gonna place his car as best as he can to defend. And if he's just able to do that, he might just be fine. I mean, and then when it comes maybe about 10 to 15 laps remaining, he could well be going to try and pull away and play that game. Meanwhile, we talk about that, we already see a little bit of a gap build up.
Yeah, he has made a small gap there, and like you said, it could come down to just at this point the reason why the other car is so close. He could be just trying to save his tires, making sure he is good at the end to try in the last 10 laps to just pull away here. I think that's his strategy at this point. He's driving relaxed. He's making sure he doesn't overdo it on the tires, and he's going to try and keep himself in this race as the winner.
Yes, he is, but I think it'll be interesting to see what Williams does as well, because it depends if Williams is going full pace or he's going a little bit relaxed race as well. Because if he's going at this full pace, he might just not have the speed at the end of this race. He might just not have, in those last few laps, what it takes to overtake. But if he is doing the exact same thing as Donald at this point in time, he might as well have a chance at that race victory. I think it could well be his. And we could see we aren't catching up with the other drivers, Austin Hund and Jeff Peppers as it stands. He's in P3. He's done about 7 laps on his tires, I believe, but we'll see. Oh, okay, he must have not done 7 laps. That must be something else, but we'll see what it's all going to be happening around. And obviously, I mean, everybody making their pit stops. Some of those doing green pit stops earlier on, some of them a little bit later, and this is all. I think these two are looking to be going to the end of the race like this, with just about 25 laps to go now.
Yeah, these ending moments are always the ones that they're always the ones that get people really staring at the screen here. It gets really exciting, and you can see here goes Donald already trying to put a little bit of a gap on Gay, but Gay's still not too far off him. I mean, he's still, within, being able to grab the draft. He's still within range to grab a draft and possibly just get right back up there if needed. And if I was him at this point, I honestly would just follow the 9 car there of Donald. And like you said, we're not sure if he's saving tires, but if he is, it would be a wise decision for Gay to basically run the same line, do the same thing, because like you said, the ending moments, we could see a change here.
Yes, we definitely can, and I think we'll see what everything's gonna be going up, but we'll see how it goes. I think change could well be coming with just about 20 laps to go now, as we're going to be just rapidly into lap 50 in a lap time. But I think then it's going to be about, but it could well be going this way as well. I mean, sure, we are saying that Donald might just be pulling away, might be doing everything, but we might just go like this to the end of the race as well. It might not change.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's really going to come down to the last moment of the race here, honestly. Most of the times, that's how it usually is. The last few laps are the ones that you're going to see people make moves. You're going to see people make a last-second push for that lead. And, not only that, but right now we're watching the top 2 here. We're watching, Donald and Gay there for first and second. But when they come into the corner, look at this right here. You see in the back there, not too far away from Gay, here comes Andrew gaining a little bit of time. He could easily get back into this fight here within the next couple laps.
He sure will be. I mean, he's looking at it. He's going to try and get back as well with just 20 to go. He would be wanting, I mean, running such a good race, and after a great recovery at the end of the after just in this third stage. I mean, after a disaster end to that first stage, and I think he's not far away as well. And now, if he's just thinking, well, I think he has to sure what happened to him at the end of that first stage, he would look into capitalize on that and make up for that mistake. And with just maybe he might have enough, but I think he might not be going full throttle at this point in time, just trying to defend a little. But he's getting closer and closer, and as soon as he's close enough, he might just make it through. And I think it could well be his chance, because Donald now playing the safe game, the relaxed driving, not pulling away from anybody. So this is a chance for Andrew Gruus to break it for Donald. And I think it's going to be a make it or break it chance for Donald as well, if he's able to just defend enough. I mean, sure, Andrew earlier on showed speed. Austin Hund did as well, but they weren't able to overtake. And I think Donald, sure, showing us his speed, but showing us the defender of the field as well.
And look at this. You know, while we were talking here comes Andrew on the outside for a battle here for second place, and Austin Hoon right behind the two of them trying to get up into the mix once again. This could be really interesting here, and here comes Andrew on the outside.
There they make it. A little bit of a move. We're going to see Chris Mayo get past his teammate one more time. But we were seeing that move for that second place. And that has happened. And that move for second. But now William is going to lose out that third place as well. And he's going to get going and get back to where he was before the pit stops. And I think it's going to send him back rail out there. And that's going to explain why he lost that position, and probably quite slow than the other two. And I think now Andrew Gruus could well be coming up at it. He's already went double file and only on high line. And but what a move from Donald there. He quickly went to the outside as well to defend. He just doesn't let the cars get their front right tire in to the rear bumper of those cars. Just gets back to the outside or the inside, wherever they are. And I think maybe if Austin Hund and Andrew Gruus were teammates, they could make a good teamwork here to go and make it work against Donald. But of course they are not, so they will have to make their individual performances. And that could well be one more time. And I think Andrew Gruus is now going to try everything. With just 15 laps to go, this is the battle we were talking about. This is the laps we were talking about that are all going to make it or break it for anybody and anybody's race here at this point in time. And I think with such an excellent race and Donald has driven, he does deserve to be victorious. But meanwhile, on the inside, it's going to be Austin Hund making himself and pushing into second place out there. Just makes his move on Andrew Gruus and push it through. He goes into second place. But William now would be coming back at Andrew Gruus as well as Andrew Rent very, very wide. But I think will be interesting to see. We saw Austin Hund fight it out for a long, long time in one of the stages earlier on, but he wasn't able to overtake Donald. But will he be able to do that tonight? And I think he's going to give it everything and just make it all, but not quite able to do it still. I think he's just 13 laps to go. He's just overtaken one car.
Yes.
Oh, what happened? Oh, wait, wait. Oh, oh. Yeah, you disappeared. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
He just went off.
Here, man, check him out. 12 laps to go. Are we going to see this battle start up again here with these three? We have Donald leading, Austin second, and Andrew sitting third. We've seen all three of these guys here make a challenge for the lead, and we've got 11 laps to go here it's starting to wind down, and you have all the, I guess you could say, drivers flexing their muscles here tonight up into the top three.
Yeah, they're all going left and right, really, Oli, trying to find the best way possible, trying to keep both their arms as competitive as they can at this point in time. And Austin Hund could well be going at it, but Donald once again does a very good defense to keep himself ahead. But will it be enough? Will it be enough for him to stay ahead, though? For how long he's going to be able to do that? With just about 10 laps to go now, it is going to be the whole race to say. And I think if there Andrew Gruus is able to attack Austin Hund and give him a little bit fight, that's going to be good for Donald. But I think now it could well be all on, and that fight, though that race lead, could well be on. We're going to see how it goes though between these drivers. I think Donald's still able to defend, and he's run just like every other lap he's been able to do. He does it once again. Austin, if he even looks to be a little bit quicker, he can't get past. Such a wide track, but Donald seems to be having his car all over the circuit and not letting anybody get past.
Yeah, Donald's car definitely on rails here tonight, but you got to give it to the dudes in second and third place here. Austin Hoon and Andrew Gross here putting on a gem of a show here tonight. These guys really doing everything they can to try and beat the man in the 9 car here, Donald Ray.
Yeah, I mean, they're not holding back. They're doing everything. They are just trying to do everything they can to beat that man, but they're unable to do that. They, of course, have done an exceptional job as well, ahead of the rest of the all drivers and ahead of everyone. Just that one man to beat for these two, and I think they've done an exceptional job. Not forget William as well. He's just hanging in there in P4 as well. Chris has fallen behind a little after a little bit fight between the top 3. He's unable to pick up in this third stage, but these 4 cars out there are really shaping up. With just 7 laps to go, it is now not too long before we're going to be taking up that checkered flag and get to the end of this race and know who's going to be our winner, because at this point in time we are uncertain, we are unsure. Sure, Donald has done an exceptional job, but one wrong move or a wrong problem for him could well see any of those 3 drivers right behind him get through and move on. Meanwhile, we see Jamie Prevost there running up in that 73 car on his own, nobody closer to him.
Here we go. We are under 10 laps to go. We have 6 left here, 5 to go at the stripe. And, man, they are all within a reasonable distance here to be able to do something here. And look, there goes Andrew to the low side, and here comes William back.
There does it. Andrew gets himself into second place, and I think that fight that we were looking to see maybe for the overtakes for that lead, but they might be changing up and happening up for that second place, and there's these two could well be scraping up and giving each other a fight. And that they want to fight a little to each other and fight for that second place. Maybe they want to go for that leader, but they are both obviously wanting to get into that second place. They want it for each other. Both of them would want to get to that lead, but I think that second place would be very crucial as well in terms of points and the championship going forward into the season. So this is going to matter a lot. With just about 4 laps to go as we go across that line. It's going to be only 3 to go now. So this is just to the end of, very, very much to the end of the race now.
With 3 laps to go coming up right here, do you think these guys have anything left in the tank for Donald Ray here? Or do you think they are out of steam here and they're just going to try and take what position they have at this moment?
I mean, we'll see what happens at this point in time, but as it looks, they might just be looking to take what they have. Andrew Gruus maybe try and go for it, but I think if they wanted to go, they might have went for it a long while ago. They might have went many laps to go for it. They'll maybe try and go side by side, but we haven't seen that. They're all going single file at this moment, just trying to stay in that draft, just trying to not lose out more than what they've done already. And I think It's still 2 laps to go, but I think now this is not good. It's not going to be much, and just going to be obviously white flag the next time by around there. So it's pretty much going to be all they can take. And at this point in time, Austin and Andrew Grush just trying to defend their second and third place from each other, and from William out there as well. Forget about that lead.
Here we go. White flag is out. Final lap here. It's going to be right now going into one. It is Donald Ray, Austin Grooves, and it is Austin Moon. And man, see, here they go side by side for second. Somebody's making a move here. Is it going to pay off? Is it going to be Austin or Andrew here? Andrew with the high side. He shuts the door on the 15. Your winner is going to be Donald Ray, and Austin Grooves is going to hang on to second, and finishing out your top 3 is going to be Austin Hoon.
That does it all, and I think Donald has done it. He started.
Andrew Grooves here in the 19 car, finishing second place here tonight, buddy. You looked real good all race and looked like you had something there for Donald, but man, there in the last few moments, it just seemed like nobody could catch him.
Yeah, I hit the wall because he was error blocking me, and I caught it and got some wheel damage right there. But I definitely had the fastest car, and if I didn't get that wheel damage, I definitely would have had him beat within the last 5 laps.
And like this whole race, I mean, you as a league member, how do you feel about this awesome race? You know, green flag all the way, pedal to the floor, no accidents. I mean, you and the league as a whole, you guys got to feel pretty good about that.
I had so much fun tonight racing. Like, it was ridiculous how much fun I've had. And I haven't had that much fun in, like, a long time in the sim. But tonight was really good night. Really good night for everybody.
Yeah, great night for everybody. And man, like you kept your car strong. You basically stayed out of every accident because there was none. But man, like you didn't give up the fight, and you end up finishing podium here, man. I mean, you have to feel at least pretty good about that one.
Yeah, I came into the season. Chris recruited me to Beer Motorsports, so I came into the season with high expectations of getting top fives, couple wins, but involved in a couple accidents this year. But I think I'm back on the right track for the rest of the season. So hopefully we get Beer Motorsports up there, and hopefully go for a championship.
Yeah, man, I'd definitely like to see you get the W here soon. It would be really nice to see your car get out front and take one, buddy.
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident, and tonight was a good night. Just pushed a little too hard in turn 4, learning lessons. So next time I come around, I'm not going to do that, and I'll get a W.
All right, buddy. Good luck on the next race, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right, guys. We'll see you all next week.
Yep. All right, guys. That was Andrew Groves, your second place finisher tonight. Let's see if we can grab someone else here from the top 3 and bring them in for a little chat here. Uh-oh.
If not,
Uh-oh.
move into the waiting room then. Do it there.
Other than the fuel saving aspect of it.
All right, guys. So, Austin Hoon here finishing third tonight, man. Tell us how you approach this race, buddy, because you look pretty good out there tonight.
Honestly, I was just trying to make sure I could make it the whole way on fuel, which, like Donald said, works out good on the tires aspect too, where you can just go when you can.
Here for a minute, man, towards the ending moments, it almost looked like you had something for Donald there. Like it was getting pretty close.
Yeah, we was getting there. It's just these cars are very bad when you get behind another car as far as not being able to turn the car. So I was struggling with that once I got close to him. So I'd get a little gap, then I'd catch back up. And same thing again. So
It's definitely hard to make moves on super speedways. Everybody drafting, everybody staying next to each other, and especially off of a restart when you have a good run, but there's so many people in the pack. It's really hard to move around. But you did it, man. You ended up finishing a podium spot here, and looked really good doing it.
thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll definitely take it after the first couple races.
And man, like you've been like last week, you did really good then too, and this week so close to a win. I'm really hoping we can see you get one, buddy. I'd like to see you also get a W. There's a couple guys here I'd like to see hop up front and take one, and you put on a really good show. You made it interesting, and I'm sure even, Donald there for a minute was kind of sweating you a little bit, man, but you did some great work, and congratulations on a top 3, dude.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. That is Austin Hoon in the 15 car that we've seen tonight, everybody. Let's talk to our race winner here with the number 9 car, Donald Ray. Donald, you got your ears on, buddy.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Man, you got the sweep, and dude, you played some good defense tonight.
Yeah, I don't think I won the first stage. It was close. Andrew, I think he got the first stage. He ran out of fuel coming off of 4, it looked like, and I almost got him, but I think he might have squeaked it out. But that's 2 weeks in a row. Almost got the sweep. It's just the same thing on these tracks, man. You just gotta conserve your tires and be slow to be fast at the end. It was interesting because the first 2 stages, I think everybody was in the same boat of having to save fuel. I think half the field actually ran out of fuel coming down the backstretch after the flag was thrown.
Oh, wow.
But I think it helped us. I know it helped me at least, having to clutch it on both ends of the track, especially in 3 and 4. I could send it in pretty decent in the 3, clutch it, and when you let off the clutch, it'd kind of help it rotate. And I just tried to stay on the bottom. I don't know if I run a single lap off that white line tonight. That was my goal, to just try and stay low, burn as little fuel as possible, and save as much tires as I could. But definitely had some guys there, Andrew and Austin, and even William, that was battling me there for a lot of the race. I mean, it could have went either way. I know Andrew got into the wall coming off of 4 once, a little bit. Otherwise, he may have probably squeaked this one out. Kind of got lucky there, but could have happened to anybody. Could have happened to me. Unfortunately, it happened to Andrew, and helped me squeak out the dub.
And man, at first to us, it looked like you had stage 1, but if you didn't get the sweep, dude, you still put on a great show, man, and it was a lot of fun to come watch. And that last couple moments where you had Austin and Andrew coming up to you, what were you thinking at the moment, buddy?
Well, my only thought was to run my line. I knew that, especially Andrew, he had to run the top there quite a bit in that last stage, and I know that was probably burning up his tires pretty good. So I felt that if I could stay on the bottom, you know, not panic, not get over anxious on the throttle through the middle of the corner, that if I could just run my line, I felt like my chances were pretty good, and sure enough, it worked out.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what will get you the win. Just stay calm, stay comfortable, run your line, and just pay attention to what's ahead of you and call it good. And you did exactly that. You stayed calm, you ran your line, you stayed to the bottom. A couple times your tire was right on that white line, man. You were nailing it, dude. Like you were so fast tonight. It was so much fun to watch, dude. And man, congrats on the dub tonight, dude.
Man, I appreciate you.
Well, all right, buddy. I'm gonna call that good, and we'll see you next week. And good luck, man.
One more thing. I just, every time I'm up here for an interview, I just want to express our sincere gratitude for you guys. It takes time away from your families. Whether it's a paid gig or not, it still takes time, and we appreciate you guys doing this for us.
Well, I appreciate you giving us a shout out, man. That's pretty cool. I appreciate you. Well, all right, man. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before we head out here? Any like team members?
No real thanks. I mean, just everybody. I mean, when you can run a full race with no accidents, no real accidents, no big cautions. I mean, that's a testament that everybody's learning everybody. We do have some new people in here, and this is a new series for us. We're all kind of learning how each other drives, showing the respect that everybody deserves, and that's why you got the product you got tonight, and it didn't take you an extra 45 minutes to broadcast this race.
Yeah, man. Green flag, pedal to the metal, the whole 170 laps, and yeah, it was fun to see a race where everybody just, they drove respectfully, and you guys did some great battling, and like I said, it was fun. But we're gonna call this good, and nice having you in here for the post race interview, and go enjoy that win, buddy.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. This has been Extreme Sim TV. You what? Oh, my bad. I'll let Zab take it. Then go for it, buddy.
Okay. We're on?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, that was a great race at Las Vegas. After eventful racing and having a chat with all those drivers, it's been myself, Zebby, on your mics, and Mike with myself, and we're going to be